Up to Ayin Vav. דיני התפלות בשבת וביום.
That's next week's Rasha.
Okay. Negem lahakdim tfilas avos shel Shabbos yoisem b'mos achol. That Friday night, this is the over here. He's talking.
Ayin Gimel.
No, Ayin Vav. He's talking over here about the summer when it comes in the summer, because the same lashon is out there in Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch also. So, and the idea is, and he says v'nachon, it's a proper thing to do. In other words, that's what you make an early minyan.
This is talking about making a 7 o'clock early minyan?
Yeah.
Not a few minutes before just to bring Moshe Balachar?
Huh?
Not to make Shabbos early and not because of that? This is
I don't think that's what it means. Because he says, Rak shehei miplaga mincha u'lamayla. So what does it mean, shehei miplaga mincha u'lamayla? So if you make him miplaga mincha u'lamayla, the way they do the minyanim in the shuls where they have an early minyan, they daven mincha before plaga mincha, and then later they could be makabel Shabbos once it's plaga mincha, and the shaila is this is a practical thing, so that it could be a normal Suda Shabbos. Otherwise, sometime by Shabbos, when the Lichbenchen is, let's say, 8:15, so by the time you get home, it's already like 9:30 already. Everyone's asleep already. So that's why he's saying that Noigim lahagdim tfilas avos shel Shabbos yoisem b'mos achol. And it's a proper thing or it's a right thing. Kedei lahagdim. So he says the reason kedei lahagdim kabbalah Shabbos b'chol ma'adeh efshar. So it's like an inyan from Moshe Mechalal Kodesh.
Right.
But our Moshe Mechalal Kodesh is by lighting candles before the Shkia, before 18 minutes before. That's a part of the Moshe Mechalal Kodesh. But he's talking about a much bigger Hisafa Mechalal Kodesh. So it must be Plaga Mincha, because that, according to Rabbi Yehuda, is his man when you get have Ma'ariv already. Not everyone holds it that way, but when there's a Beis HaTzairach, you could do it. V'af hanroig nespalo kol yemei achol Ma'ariv bizmana. Where we daven. There are places where they daven Ma'ariv earlier, especially, let's say, people that work in Manhattan. So they normally they have a minyan for mincha during the day, but when the work finishes, they daven ma'ariv. There's places that daven at 6 o'clock ma'ariv. But it's based on a Pnei Yeshua in brachas that the Pnei Yeshua says you could daven even earlier than that. We don't feel it that way, but he's saying. V'af hanoig nespalo kol yemei achol ma'ariv bizmana, dahainu b'tzezek achavim. So yichayim lahagdim b'Shabbos, they could be magdim on Shabbos, not the way till tzezek achavim. V'av shalapomim b'mos achol mispalim mincha b'shor shemispalim ata avos. So sometimes it looks a little strange, Is it mincha or is it?
Shul in Woodburn, they're davening Ma'ariv, they're still doing mincha.
Yeah. Ein choshesh b'zeh b'tfilas avos shel Shabbos sheyesh bo mitzvah shemoiseh mechalal kodesh, because he's not talking over here because, like I said before, what I said before is like an additional thing, that most of the people that daven early don't daven because Moshe Michal Kodesh. They daven because they want to come home, they want to have a Suda with the family. But he's going, he said, Moshe Michal Kodesh, that you can daven as early as after Praga Mincha. The Birchas Hashkivenu, by the bracha of Hashkivenu after the Shema Yisrael, ein chosmim k'moi b'chol shomer Amar Yisrael, kiven shebracha zu hi al kolos Am Yisrael. Ukolos Am Yisrael einem tzrichim shmira b'Shabbos, ki ha-Shabbos morgen aleinu. Shabbos itself is a protection. So no, you don't have to be mispalled for protection because Shabbos is the protection. Elo Aimer Ufreis B'chais from Baruch Atah Hashem Apayres. Actually, there's different schos between Sfard and Ashkenaz. How you Messiah over this bracha of Mashkevenu. V'chein biyantev im tov v'sim k'moi b'chol, which is Shem Am Yisrael, Shem Es Am Yisrael, im niskem miyad ra'acha teves ra'ad yem miyad apayr sukkah shalom, aber im roi niska ad ra'acha k'dei dibur ein etzorach leimer. It's not. It's just an additional thing. No young Eimer with Tfilas Avis, v'yanuchu vo, u'b'shachas u'musaf v'yanuchu voi. That's in the Shmona Esrei in the Brachim. U'b'mincha Shabbosais kadshecha v'yanuchu vom. The Rebbe Shulchan I think said that it's a psanim from Kabbalah, that they have these three things. I once said the vote already over here. That American Robert, in the old American Drush Forum, that someone once said that why do you say these three things? He said a reason to it. He said because am Morgen Zeit Nebuch, when it came to Shabbos, there was a lot of problems with Shmiyah Shabbos. There were people that had a business, and I know it happened to me. I went on Mekashas to Newfoundland, and we arrived in Newfoundland on Friday. And over there was a small Jewish community, and there was a Yid there in Crown Heights, Shia Volensky. Shia Volensky came from Newfoundland. His whole mishpacha was in Newfoundland. There was a whole story about the mother got divorced. There was a whole problem, and she moved here with her son. And his relative was the president of the community. So we came to him, to his business, to his office, and he asked us, what could he do for us, So I told him that we would like to make a minyan for Shabbos. So he said to me, Friday night is impossible. Shabbos morning, I can make it. So I asked him, why is Friday night impossible? He said, because Friday is payday. All the workers get paid on Friday. So that they spend the money, and they get the money, they spend the money. So the stores have to be open in order that they should come to them to buy or someplace else. So Friday morning we can't make a minyan, but Shabbos morning is already easier. A lot of them spent the money already. So there was a Rav that once said a drasha, and he said about these three things, about v'yinuchu voi, v'yinuchu vom, v'yinuchu vo, v'yinuchu voi, v'yinuchu vom. He said as follows: even people years ago that Nebuch had to have their business open on Shabbos, but the woman knew that for Shabbos you have to light candles, and you have to have a table with the children. So the woman would stay home Friday night, and they would make Shabbos, and the husband never was in the business. So Friday night was v'yanuchu vo. She rested. But Erik went Shabbos Friday night. Shabbos morning, almost in this shul over here even, many years ago, there used to be, this was the main minyan, Shabbos, and the room over there in the corner was the minyan where they davened every morning. So just to give you an idea what Crown Heights was, they had 3 minyanim every morning. There was a 6 o'clock minyan, and a 6:45 minyan, and a 7:30 minyan. Shabbos, there were 2 minyanim. There was a minyan here in the big shul, 9 o'clock there was a minyan, and there was a minyan 7:30 in the Beis Medrash. Why was there a minyan 7:30 in the Beis Medrash? Because of 2 reasons. One reason is, over here everything was formal. There was a chazan and the rabbi gave a drasha, and not everyone was interested in that. So they davened with the early minyan, they went home and fartik. But there were also people that davened with the early minyan because they had to go to the business. The business opened Shabbos, but even though they were open on Shabbos, but was heißt mit der davening mit der minyan, mit der kriyas Torah. So b'meila, so Shabbos was v'yanuchu voy. And the wife ran to open up the store, and the husband in the morning came over here to daven. In the afternoon already, the Goyim spent their money already. They were able to not even open up in the evening. So that's why Rabbanu Shemagid said for these three, Friday night is V'yanuchu Vo. She private Shabbos. Shabbos morning, he private Shabbos, so V'yanuchu Voi. And Shabbos Mincha was V'yanuchu Vom. The 2 of them were already private Shabbos.
Yeah, the big shul daven 8:30, 7 o'clock on Monday.
Huh?
His
My father's shul, there was 7
Every shul.
Yeah,
In every shul. Yidden knew that.
Shabbos morning, there was an early minyan. For what he's Rabbi Bogomilsky says, there were those people who didn't like the whole formalities, and those people never had to go to work.
Yeah, and they Yidden knew that Shabbos that began the shul.
Yeah.
Yeah, we used to create
Acha Tfilas Halachash Ba'avos. It says Friday night after the Shtil Shmonesher, the Shabbos on Shabbos. Oimim Kulam B'Yachad V'Yechulu. Now the reason why he says that Oimim Kulam B'Yachad V'Yechulu is because, and he says also V'Yesh L'Amr Me'uben. You should say it standing. And what's the reason to it? He says the reason is we are saying Eidos that the Eibush created the world, and the whole Maisa with Sheish Shemei Breishus, and so Mel is an Inyan of Eidos. He calls an Inyan of Eidos, but Eidos says a din, you have to have 2 Eidos. And there's also a din by Eidos that Eidos is supposed to stand. Today, the Moshe Boyd titles were makel. People are weaker, so you don't. The Eidos could sit also while they talk. But
some people they say Vaychulu with 2 people.
That's why, because Eidos. But he's saying. Was? Aber gesagt, weil Eidos darf so ein Ständigerheit. So he doesn't say.
About 2, he doesn't say it.
No, he doesn't say over here 2 people together. He says everybody says it. If everybody says it together, so it's a lot of people saying Eidos. But the minig is that in case you missed it or whatever, for every reason, you say it together with somebody else. Vayichulu.
He doesn't mention about who fries to stand. Our minhag is to drive it right.
It says that.
Yeah. To stand.
Not gonna
He
find-
mentioned how fries everybody.
He's not going to mention that in the Geshul Rav, but there was a few years before the Ram came out.
Achar kach Eimer Shliach
Rebbe got
Tziva
it from somebody.
Bracha Me'ein
Kabbalah,
Sheva.
maybe or something.
Bracha Me'ein Sheva is what we start Mogen Oves. The Mogen Ovis is like a kitzur of the whole Shmoneh Esrei. When you say Mogen Ovis, so that's Avraham, Yitzchak, Yaakov. And then Mogen Ovis, Chayim Mason, B'Ma'amore, Hokel HaKodesh, that's the Bracha V'Ata Kodesh. So that piece of Mogen Ovis is Kailul, and it's a sort of a Chazaras HaShatz. Now, and he goes on to explain the Hainu Baruch Atah Hashem Alkeinu Okay V'Seinu Mogen Ovis. We don't start this way, but U'Musayim Baruch Atah Hashem Kadosh HaShabbos V'yesh L'Hakol Lamoid B'Shor She'Shli Tziva Omer Bracha Zos. That's for some of the same reason why some stand by Chazaras HaShatz. So being that this is like a Chazaras HaShatz, so that's why some stand. V'yishmu heitev, v'noigim she'oimim imoy mogen ovos ad zechel ma'asav reishis, v'gam ha'mispalu b'yechidis yochalim mogen ovos ad zechel ma'asav reishis. I think that's the end of it. I mean,
Yeah, they cannot give a sinner, we don't say.
yeah, they have others.
Only
No.
the Shlich Tzibur says that.
No, he says, if you daven by yourself at home, you don't say, okay.
What's the inyan of Mogen Ovis, of saying it? So the inyan is because the shuls that time were out of the city or at the end of the city, and B'mega, someone came late to shul, so they wanted that everyone should stay in shul till they go home together. So therefore, they added Mogen Ovis. It's also if someone wasn't able to daven with the minion, so he's yaitza with this. B'chol Shabshas Hashana, I'm bracha zos, afilu b'yantif, u'b'Shabbos shechol la'acha yantif. Ach k'shechol yantif, rishon shel Pesach b'Shabbos, ein oimrim oisa. And the reason why we don't say it is because that Pesach, everyone comes to shul early at night. They know that you have to say Hallel at night. Not during the year, you never say Hallel at night. So they don't want to be late. So if they don't want to be late, so there's no reason for this informal Chazaras HaShatz to keep the people in shul later.
It's nothing to do with Shmira of Pesach? No?
Because I must think
That's what I remember.
But in some shuls, they didn't say halal on the first night.
Okay, that's also true, but that's one of the reasons. The Pesach, the people came to shul.
Why did it say?
Our many is that we say halal. And some of them in Hagam, they don't say halal the first night.
Only the second?
No, they don't say it at night at all halal.
They don't.
Because they say it later in the Nagada.
They say them.
Only they got it.
Ein oimrim oisa ela b'minyan kavua.
This is always a big problem.
And this is a very important din. A lot of times, there's people, Moshe, they make a simcha. And they make a sheber brother. Right. So for sheber brothers, they go to a hotel, let's say. Or they make a bar mitzvah, a whole Shabbos, they go to a hotel. So the shalit, the hotel is not a basic nessus. You daven there, for Shesa, you didn't come together, so they daven there. So there's a whole shaila, if you should say, there is a day you should say it, but the pashtus, the din is that you shouldn't say it. So he says, Ein Raisa Ela B'Minyan Kavua, Avu B'Mokum She'en Mispalim B'Asara Ela B'Akroi, Kegoin V'Beis HaChosan, V'Beis HaOvel, which is not the regular place where they make minyanim. Or I think in Shulchan Aruch he also says by a yirid. They used to make like the people would travel to the yirid, and then for Shabbos the people had a minyan in the achsanya. Is ein ayim oisa. V'im kavu mokum v'spalo basara eza shavuos. Oh, going be yiridim. By the yiridim, I remember by the yiridim because it was a market. And by the market, the market ran a few weeks. So maybe the people would come, not just one Shabbos. So he says, "Ve'im kavum maknas v'al basara eiz shvuos going k'may b'yiridim is yesh ram over there." You should say it.
He brings over here, we heard that from the Alten Rebbe, Stikalach.
Yeah.
So he says, "B'mokim shenah gula amra ein limchis biyadam."
I told you, as I said that. I just said that some do say it. B'mdina sila noyagin shesliach tziva mekadesh b'beis haknesses b'chol Shabbos v'yom tovim. That's a minhag that we had in all Ashkenaz shuls, not in the Chassidish Shtibach. But
dat brengt ook van Alter Rebbe, als in Sidde brengt dat niet. Nog eens op de Alter Rebbe, zo ja zeggen, zo. Maar in Sidde brengt dat niet.
I know, okay. But the reason is, the reason why they used to make Kiddush in Shul is not because people should hear Kiddush. The Molge Zeiten, they used to have an Orchim Shtibel. In other words, when there were Orchim that came, poor people that were traveling, that were raising money, or betels that you call it, and there used to be a room next to the shul, where that was like a Achnosas Orchim Shtibel. So in order for them to be Yosek Kiddush, they would make Kiddush in the shul Friday night. So in all the Ashkenaz shuls, not in the Sfaradish shul, not in the Chassidish shul, but in all the Ashkenaz shul, Friday night, especially if you have a chazan, the Friday night was a whole play with the Kiddush, how to make Kiddush, and then the kids would sit around there and they'd give each one a little bit of the wine, which is a whole problem in itself, because he has to drink the wine if he's making Kiddush.
He wanted to go home and make Kiddush.
Yeah. So, but okay, let's see over here a little bit about it. He talks about this over here, about giving the wine to the children. So he said, "B'mdina sigun noigim sheshriya tziva mekadesh b'beis haknesses b'leil Shabbosos b'yom tovim." Chutz mishnei legos or shonim shel Pesach, because by Pesach it's the Dalet Kaises. One of them is the Kiddush Kais. B'kivin shu ein yotze b'kiddush zeh. The chazan is not yotze with his Kiddush. V'asarei litem kaidem Kiddush. L'chein k'dei sheloi tehei b'choser v'atorah noisen litem l'kotn shegir l'chinuch. V'akotn yishma es habracha mimenu b'yotze bo v'nimtza shrei beirach v'atorah. Now he's going to say a shaila. The shaila is, there is a din that you're not allowed to give a cotton biyadayim, a thing that's awesome. It's in the Gemara, it's called cotton eichel novelis. A cotton eichel novelis, so there's a shaila if you have to stop him or not. It's a difference, the parent or a stranger, that's a difference in halacha. But to give him biyadayim is a shaila. That's you're not allowed. I mean, the shaila is if you have to stop him or not. But to give him, so over here, the cotton didn't hear Kiddush. So you're giving him to drink before Kiddush. So he says, in parentheses, the mutter lahachlas a cotton kaiden Kiddush, k'moshe echte l'kamim v'simen kuf samachay. The head that over there is that there's an afkamina. When we talk about to give a cotton a davar issa, there's an afkamina if it's a davar issa or a zman issa. But by Ramosha to give him something that's not kosher, you're not allowed it. But over here, the wine that you're giving him is not a davar issa. It's just that right now because he didn't make kiddush, he's not supposed to drink the wine. So that call of not giving a cotton a davar issa doesn't apply. Be'imen katan basic nessus. So what should the chazan do then? Yechaven hamakadesh oy adam acha lotzes bekiddush v'yishte shir aviyas k'dei bracha achrona. The alpha became, even if a person had in mind to be yotz with the kiddush over here, yochahu lachzor l'kadesh bebeisai v'hoitzi es ishtay u'bnei beisai. Now listen to these words over here. Im einam yodim l'kadesh ba'atzmam. If they don't know how to make kiddush. In other words, the only time that you could make kiddush to be moist someone else is if that person doesn't know how to make kiddush. So I always, when we go into the Alter Rebbe Shulna, say the exact same lashon, but it's very much negeya. Why is it negeya? Well, Moshe, when you have a talucha, okay, and the husband goes, let's say, to Borough Park, and in Borough Park, if he daven ma'ariv in the shul that he came, and after ma'ariv he made kiddush, the woman is a very fine wife, so she's not going to eat till her husband comes home and makes kiddush. According to what it says over here, and it says in Alter Rebbe Shulchan Aruch, that's wrong. If she doesn't know how to make kiddush, it's okay. But every young Lubavitcher woman knows how to make kiddush. So Mela, she has to make kiddush herself and eat something, about smokum suda, to be, and not to wait for the husband to come home from the talucha. Now, what about Shabbos morning? Shabbos morning, you make a kiddush in shul, and you eat and everything. It's proper. Now you come home and you're gonna have your Suda Shabbos. Over there is different. Over there, the wife could be yaitza, the kiddush from the husband, even though that she knows how to make kiddush herself. My nafkamina. The nafkaminas are different. Kiddush at night is a birchas hamitzvahs. It's not just a bracha bar priyagofen on the wine that you're drinking. It's a birchas hamitzvahs. In other words, about the birchas hamitzvahs, if she doesn't know how to make kiddush, you could be mitzvah. If she knows how to make kiddush, you can't be mitzvah. Kiddush in the morning is just a bracha bar priyagofen. A bracha bar priyagofen, you could be mitzvah someone you're drinking on the wine, and then once you're making for the wine that you're drinking, you could also be mitzvah with that. Okay, we'll finish later, but it's getting time.